So there's this idea of individuation that I can, if I take the time and I try to understand and go into that cave, that I can become enlightened. I can understand that. And so you have a lot of people who look at cognitive function theory and Carl Jung's work and they go, I think I'm understanding it. Makes sense. As I age, I will get more access and use and experience with these cognitive functions. My two middle functions, those might fill out a little bit more. And my unconscious functions, I will start to be able to see those. My inferior won't be as difficult for me to use. But the point is that everybody sees that and goes, hey, I want to have that now. I'm 15 years old. I'm 20 years old. I want to go ahead and be able to go into that cave and pull that information out. And I want to be that bigger, better, more wise person that I will be in 50 years. And I want to do that now. I understand what he's saying. I'm ready for it. And this is the problem. We believe that everybody has done all this work before to get us to this point where I can understand the psychology, I can understand the theory, but then they come to the part where they actually have to do it. And they're like, I don't understand. Why can I not do this shadow work? And for some people, very rare that they will be able to do the shadow work. But why for you and why most people will not be able to do it is for this reason. Let's say you have a child and that child is getting near you in the kitchen and you say, hey, step back, the stove is hot, I don't want you to get burned. And they take their hand away and you turn and then you see them and they start reaching for the stove and you go, hey, what are you doing? I just told you the stove is hot. You're gonna get burned. And one day you're off doing something and you hear a cry and you go to race and find the child holding their hand. And you go, I told you not to touch the stove. Why did you do that? I was trying to save you from suffering. I was trying to save you from getting hurt, but you didn't listen to me. Now, the thing is with that child is for them, that suffering is what they needed to learn. They had to experience that suffering. And I think that's why there's a common thing that Buddha said, and that is life is suffering. And I don't think that it's meant to be this nihilistic thing. What it's saying is that you have to understand, and as you suffer, as you go through these trials, things will become more clear to you. That is how you will learn. And if you haven't burned your hand yet, how can you know and understand what you were supposed to learn? Because you can read it in a book and you can hear me say it, and I will be saying it, and I'm going to try to help in my way to try to help people from not having to go through that suffering. But most of us are going to have to experience it before we understand it. So if you ever come across somebody who is born again in their faith, what was happening when they found their faith? Was it something good? Was life going great? They had a great paying job and they had a beautiful family, and that's usually not when people find a higher calling, a higher power. When people find that, what has usually happened is they have suffered. They are at their rock bottom. Everything has crumbled. There is nothing left. And that nothing is when they suddenly see everything. And you cannot see that. You cannot see and understand and experience this higher power if you have not experienced your greatest suffering, until you have lost everything. Only then can you understand the hope of everything. And that is the problem with shadow work, is people want to believe that they can simply go down and just think about it really hard and bring out this enlightened truth. And that's the thing, is we all have to suffer. We have to get our hand burned and say, that hurt, that I don't want to do that again. Why did I do that? Why didn't I listen? And the reason is that you didn't suffer. You didn't learn that. You didn't experience that. And until you do, you can't truly have that awakening. And that's why it's much later in life.